Okay, so here we are. News is supposed to be coming. Whoops, I'm not sharing my screen. All right, let me just do that. Okay, there we go. so, all right. Well, that didn't go so great. It didn't. It didn't. Uh, you know, I gotta. It's my fault, and I'm trying to work it out. But kind of making these videos, and I try to get some exercise in the morning, and timing just doesn't always work out. And then there's tech issues that have been going on, so I'm kind of hurting myself a little bit because there is value in getting very centered, and much as I think I'm in tune after, especially once I've done a pre-market, um, you know, you could probably hear at the end of the pre-market, I was kind of getting rushed. So, it's okay. I had time. It came down and I was thinking I'm going to go long this high. Now, I just said in that video, they don't normally just smash through a level. Now, lately, they've been more porous, but today they probably will, I said. Well, I didn't catch the first bounce because I wasn't quite set, and that would have worked. But I'm trying to keep all this straight in my mind. There's actually an earlier trade that I want to talk about that I mentioned as well that worked. I That was happening. I don't think I was even done the video and that was going on. But um, anyway, so I wanted to take the reaction around this high. Um, and I had an order in, not on the first bounce, but I got it in. It came down, and then I took some heat, and then I took a little more heat, and then you know what? I got run over. I should have known once it stayed under the high. I should have known better, But I wanted to work, especially now that I'm talking about these trades to people. It's like I got a little bit of pride invested in it, right? Sure. So, I mean, we all want to be I don't say these things to be wrong. I talk about what I think might happen because I'm, like I said yesterday, I expect my plans to work, you know. One thing I wasn't quite paying attention to that I often neglect to, and that's another little chart I have watching the NICE tick. And, sometimes I take some cues from that really help me out. So, um, all right. So let me get to the point. I got run over here, right? So I thought, okay, that's fine. This was going to work a lot better, and it didn't. They came down, and again, the way they started moving, I should have known. They're not going to. I mean, they did get a little bit of a bounce, but not enough to. I was probably too aggressive as far as what I wanted from it. Once again, why? Because I took a trade not that far along after I'd already had a loss. So you know. Um, I should have maybe only gone for a few ticks and tried to take a few small bites back positive. But so what happened was I got stopped out, and that's two losses in a row. Not a great way to start the day. So and very quickly too. But you know what? Smacked myself in the face and got it together and realized once they started trading back up and around the close, I could tell by the price action. I could tell by looking at the tick, different things. It's hard to do, but it's like now that trade's going to work. And it did. So I got long in here, I think 93, 93.50. I almost didn't get filled. It was kind of, I was hoping it would touch down again and it did. It grabbed me, picked me up, took me in. And I'm not in it now, and I'm not positive. I'm still down about a point and a quarter between a couple lots. Well, that's okay. That's not to say I'm down 2.5 points. I'm saying between the two lots, I'm only negative about a point and a quarter. Okay. Um, After having losses, with those and then regaining. So, that's okay. That's definitely not bad as far as clawing your way back. That's a phrase I love to use. You got to claw your way back. Um, and you can see it's real jumpy. It is a Friday, um, end of the month, end of the year. So there's a lot of considerations. I don't know what I'll do yet. If I'll continue to trade today or not. It probably sounds like I only trade 15 minutes a day. I love to trade a lot more. but I got a lot of things going on, and I also really enjoy the feeling of quitting while you're ahead and being in and out and being done early. That's why I got into trading. It was not because I wanted to sit in front of the computer all day long, which for the majority of the last X number of years I've been doing, and my gut shows it. So, um, at any rate, I'm trying to turn all that around now because there was a time, and might as well talk about this now. There was a time when I first started out, especially, I was thankfully, um, well, I don't know if thankfully is the right word because I definitely was waylaid and not given the full picture. I trusted people to teach me how to trade, so I hired them. I spent about 2 or 3 months. And I decided this is what I wanted to do. I spent about 2 or 3 months really trying to find out, well, who can teach me? There's so many people out there, and there's so many different ways and methodologies and this and that. And then every company has their salespeople, and you know, but I knew that I couldn't just go get a book and do it. Or if there was a book, I didn't know which book to get. And I was trying to get this show on the road. Well, anyway, the point of telling you the story is that I was told that the first hour of trading is amateur hour. You know, um, don't trade it; you'll get killed. And that's kind of true. It can be quite uh, strange, especially a new trader. You have no idea what's going on or what to expect, and frankly, neither did this guy. Okay, um, he at least didn't pretend he did. He just wrote it off as don't trade during that period. Well, I started to think, I started to realize, look, these people aren't all stupid. Somebody's making money. Somebody knows what's going on. And unfortunately, I haven't really been able to find a lot of people who tell me. I've just had to figure it out. I have not been working down. Don't work with any insiders or anything like that, which are big money, which kind of might get a direction of where institutional order flow is going to go. You know what? I'm just talking. I don't know. I just realized I need to understand how the market works, what the structure can indicate, what the auction process is, things like that, and know my tools. We all go through the thing of switching tools, and there's nothing wrong with trying things and all that kind of stuff, but you need a couple that you sort of start to get the mastery of, and I recommend. There's a lot of disciplines I draw, if you want to call them disciplines. I obviously like to center around market profile as a framework. Also, I hey, I like trend lines. I like balance areas. I like ranges. I look at Elliott wave. I look at patterns. You name it. You name it, Jack. Like I said yesterday when I was talking about levels, it's every every level is important. It's just how important is it, right? Every indicator can be useful. It's just how useful is it? Well, every technique can be useful. Just how useful is it? Well, it just depends on how well you know it and how experienced you are with it, right? So, you can't use them all. Believe me, I've tried. You go through a period of more is better, and then you realize quickly my brain is going to explode. I can't follow everything. I can't make a decision because I've got way too much information. And now somebody looking at this chart might say, "Wow, what's all that going on? All the little colors, all the lines, all this, what's the different things mean, and how do you know?" And then you're looking at other things too. And believe me, this is pretty simple compared to having a chart with bunches of indicators and trying to get them all line up. And then it's like, oh, but the candles are, that's another one. Candlesticks, they're important. Can be very useful. And it's like you can get to a point where you have a nice blend. And I say that because I feel I do. I've got to reach a level of mastery in my blend. But at any rate, at least I can survive now and enjoy it and feel I have control. I mean, it used to be like getting on the back of a bucking horse, and it still feels like that sometimes. But it's like, out the gate and hope you don't get thrown off. And Well, I have to say every trade kind of feels like that. You hope you don't get stopped out. But the fact is, you kind of have a lot more control, and it's manageable, and your emotions aren't, you're not sitting on the edge of your seat in total fear. Well, I have to say that's not entirely true either. I mean, there is an element of that. Otherwise, there's an excitement to it, because hey, I like to win, you like to win, and that's what I'm here to do is win. Um, Losing can be winning too, though. If you learn from your mistakes, if you get sharper because of it, you took a loss, you might as well take a lesson, right? Um, I just made that up. Took a loss, might as well take a lesson from it because, and there's the other thing too, right? So like right now we're back here at this high. I took a long there. It wasn't wrong to do. It would have been better had I got it on the first touch, but I wasn't fast enough, and that's a real important thing, and that's cost me before. But and that's why, it's hard. I want the video to be useful, but if it's too early, it's not as useful. If it's too late, it's useless, except for, somebody might enjoy things that we talk about. But as far as using it for yourself as your own, helping to you trade, I don't know that this is designed for that at the moment. This would have to be more of a live scenario, with somebody. Uh, I've thought about having a room, and because I know what it's like to not be. People don't seem to want to share what they know, and I think that's selfish, wrong, and based in fear. All right, so I'm kind of going long here. I don't know if it's been probably 10, 12 minutes, and just talking at the screen here. Uh, Coming up in a new TPO in 13 minutes. Um, so what's next? Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, so right now, what seems to be happening is we're kind of rotating right in here, and we may do that. I imagine we'll stay in here maybe from 03 down to 96. A good part of B period. We're going to open in B here, and I don't know that we're going to go raging off to the downside or raging up to the upside. We might, but there's this divot between the distributions, and now after all the activity, it seems to have found see this divot right here? It seems to have found some an area to explore. Um, right now, if I had to say, we are above yesterday's range, value's higher. That favors the longs, but when B opens, is it going to go from here straight up? No, there's still sellers in the market. You can see. I believe that it's going to maybe trade up to the open VPOC, overnight VPOC, or even this at 02. It's gonna explore this high again. That's just my thought that there might be a short here, but I don't like going short against this kind of bullishness. Now that reminds me, I said there was another trade that I didn't mention yet that worked in the open. I had said in the previous video that there might be a short here at 05. Now it's gone through it now, but that's exactly what happened. It went up. Somebody could have been short 0475 or 450, whatever, and it came straight back down. I don't know how much you would have worked it, but that's what happened. It came up, and let me see where that X high was. Yeah, it didn't even go up there. It was just went right to the edge and turned around. So, I'm happy I called that, but I didn't like it for myself. I think I mentioned that in the other video. I didn't necessarily think that was the best idea, but it was an idea that worked, and it probably would have worked better than my other ones that I did, but I didn't do it. So that's how it goes. But at least, if you're only down $100 on a day, now if you're down $100 every single day, that's not good. But you might want to back off and figure out what's going wrong. But you know, you win some and you lose some. You don't win every trade, and you don't always have a positive day. That's just how it is. So, am I going to keep trading? All right, well, let's see what happens. All right, so we popped up. There's a VPOC. Is this where the short would have been? I don't know. Let's say you got short there. You might get run over. See what happens. This again, you could extend this divot up to here, if you wanted to, if it's going to like rotate in. But again, this doesn't have. There's the effect, the immediacy effect. Things don't have to happen immediately. You know, that may happen. It may trade down in here, and maybe we'll get a. Maybe it'll. I don't know which way it'll go, but let's say it does. Um, it auctions down to sort of where this volume is again. Um, so far, our trade's working. I'm not in it or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's what I was saying is maybe a short right here. You know, maybe it just gets to the high and reverses higher. You know, we've got overnight inventory up here that the A is with the U high, so there's stops above both of these. Okay, well, again, if you're going short against value higher and a gap up day that didn't stay under the back in yesterday's range, you know, you want to be careful. So right now you'd be, oh, I should have taken one off or taken it off or closed. Yeah, you should have. So that's why maybe the first off should have been within a couple ticks, just so you have a little room, or right here at the bottom of this this distribution. And you know, news popped out too. We have news kind of all morning, soft news. So you know, you may or may not have been stopped out on this. That's obviously it looks like what they want to do. Um, will it resume to the downside? Okay, well, the video is long enough, 15 minutes. Thanks if you stayed this long. It looks like they're pushing it down now. You can see that was what I would say is a little game. They went up and knew everybody who shorted here. When I say they, I'm talking about traders who have the money to do this. And you know, I don't know how much they connect with each other and collude to do that, or how many of them it takes. It could just be one dude, you know, or one gal that, you know, pushes it like that. Can't say I blame them. You know, that's they're entitled to do that. You know, every time you take a trade in a direction, you're trying to help move the market. You know, so all right. Well, I keep talking. I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna go now. There may be a long right here again. You know, or the value area. You know, they may come through because typically what I'm finding in the market lately is they're going to go through every level. See how it stopped to the tick on the high, but it could just as easily penetrate it. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6 ticks. And that you could almost count that these days as, yeah, it traded back up from the high, but it's sort of fuzzy, you know. It's not exact anymore. And I think there's just not the liquidity in the market there used to be. And I'm not sure if I understand why. You know, a lot of people got wiped out last February. Okay, so here, let's see if this happens. So they came through 4 ticks. They're going to come all the way down here to the close again, value area low, and it reverse. And is it going to come back up? I'd say if it keeps going now, that yeah, it may still come back up later, but you know, they've gotten everybody who had their stops in here pretty much. You know, any retail traders, you know, they're wiped out. And then they're looks like they're pushing it down. They're holding the well, I don't know. I didn't point that out enough. Okay, so if the market's going to continue the upside today, it really does look like this would be a good place to get long. So I'm gonna go. I don't know that I'm gonna do that, but I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.